If there is anything that defines an aspect of California culture so boldly, so unapologetically, and with such style, it's California car culture. According to Leslie Kendall, curator at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, California, the oil boom of the 19th and 20th centuries, the Hollywood boom of the mid-20th century, and the real estate boom of the 20th century gave rise to California's car culture. Coupled with the topography of the state, such economic prosperity contributed to the growth of major metropolitan and suburban areas across the Golden Peninsula. This topographic expansion gave rise to the automobile industry unlike anywhere else in America. According to Kendall, you needed to have an automobile if you lived in California, as the state was becoming more interconnected through cities and counties hundreds of miles apart from one another. With the advent of celebrity culture, lavish real estate, wealth, and year-round Mediterranean sunshine, car culture was more vibrant and loud than anywhere else in the country. From drop-top Buicks to lowrider Chicano culture in LA, everybody wanted to show off their hot rods as they rode along the coasts of Venice Beach or Santa Monica. The automobile was a symbol of status, success, freedom, adventure, and progress. Such symbolism was the reason many people moved to California. It was the reason why William Mulholland chose California to create his legacy. And if there was a car that embodied such symbolism best, it was the 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air, an icon that continues to sparkle in the Sunshine State. From the two-door sedan configuration and sports coupe configuration to the Southern California appropriate two-door convertible, the Bel Air was a Cadillac that everybody could afford. When it comes to car culture in the Golden State, nothing demonstrates Californians' love and enthusiasm for cars more than car meets and car shows. From small illegal gas station and underground parking lot charades to fully organized events that capture the hearts of children and adults alike. Every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., an event is held called Cars and Coffee at the San Clemente Outlets in San Clemente, California, where car enthusiasts from all over SoCal come to showcase their cars as visitors flock to take pictures and enjoy the sweet sound of the internal combustion engine. I decided to come here today to learn from both enthusiasts and spectators about why they love cars so much and how cars shaped California culture for them. Most importantly, I've come to learn about the iconic 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air, a staple of California and American history and car culture, as well as a fan favorite here at Cars and Coffee. And boy, was there no shortage of brightly painted Bel Airs and Del Reys here today. So what brings you to Cars and Coffee here in California?
I like to take a lot of pictures. Photography is kind of a big hobby for me.
Well, for one thing, I live pretty close by. For another thing, this is a free show. Hundreds of cars. You see every different kind of car every Saturday. And, most car shows you're going to pay them $50 to show your car. But here you just roll in here and everybody's here for fun. So that's what I like about it.
I've been doing this for 50 years. I've seen all the cars. I like looking at the people. I mean, take a look at what we have to talk to here.
Our friends.
You're better off if you look at the other way.
No, you guys have a beautiful car. It's like perfect. And what was car culture like then in the 60s and the 70s? What kind of defined California car culture?
Well, back then it was New York.
Okay.
I came from New York. And A lot of the car shows were like this, except the cars that you see here, back then they were brand new.
Oh, I think because this city grew after the age of mass transit, if you think about it, and so it was automobiles. And if you're not really booming until the 1920s, you're going to be a car culture. And I think that's one reason why the car culture is so strong.
I know. We had an Uber driver last night. She lives in LA.
As I made my way to the other side of the parking lot, I couldn't help but notice an entire fleet of Chevy Bel Airs and Del Reys as they stood in harmony, yet each unique in their own splendor. The 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air was the first mass-produced American car built after World War II. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, automotive manufacturers were mainly producing utility vehicles where style was rarely a top priority. This was followed by World War II when most of the nation's efforts went into funding the war. After World War II, however, when the United States experienced a period of economic prosperity, U.S. automakers like Chevy would begin paying special attention to the styling details of an automobile as one of its primary selling points. This signified an era of new ideas and an era of progress. Moreover, what made the Bel Air special was the fact that it was a budget Cadillac, so to speak. It had as much decorative chassis work and curves as a 1957 Cadillac, but everyone could afford the Bel Air. As a result, the Bel Air was Chevrolet's upscale car. You no longer needed to be a Hollywood star or a real estate baron to celebrate your success and showcase your status as a hard-working, middle-class, blue-collar Samaritan. I had the privilege of speaking with an owner of a Chevrolet Bel Air who was kind enough to share the sentimental value and history behind the model that she owns.
What brings you here to Cars and Coffee this Saturday?
My Tri-5 crew wanted to come and do a presentation here of our Tri-5.
As I told you.
Nice. And tell me something about this car. What's something special about it? Tell me some history about it.
The car's been in my family for 44 years. I've taken my driving test when I was 16 in it. It was my prom limo and my wedding limo.
Beautiful, very nice. And how would you say this car sort of defines California culture?
Well, the 50s were very popular. A lot of people have them. Mine is unique because of its color combination. But it's got all the mechanics. Car culture, there are more guys that are into it than girls. I am one of the few women who's owned my car for this long, 44 years. I love being around cars. I've worked on them my whole life, and until I changed the motor, I could work on it. I can't work on it. I enjoy my car.
Nice. So there's something very special about it. So tell me something about, is this a 1950s model?
1955 Chevrolet Bel Air 4-door sedan.
Okay. And what made this popular in the 50s, you think?
They were just the car. A Chevrolet was the car to have.
Right. So you go down Hollywood, you go down to anywhere you go. This was the car to have. This was like the Mercedes of that time.
Of that time, correct. 55 is the first year they went to a 283 V8 engine in the Tri-5s.
Beautiful. And there's a lot of sentimental value to it. There's a lot of history behind it.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
My family's last family car before my dad passed.
Nice.
They had it for about 5 years before it was given to me, and then I drove it daily until it went non-op in 91. It said non-op from 91 to 2020 roughly, when we did all the mechanical swaps on it.
What made the Bel Air so unique was that it was a car anybody could own. Community events like Cars and Coffee make it possible for people from all walks of life to enjoy exotic cars while instilling a sense of inspiration that reignites the California dream in all of us. Similarly, the Bel Air marked an era of American automotive history that brought exotic luxury closer to home, brightening every California city street with style beyond Mulholland Drive in Beverly Hills.